School administrators navigate a 3 to 5 year horizon. They are currently projecting staffing needs, negotiating multi-year labor contracts, and designing special education programs that will serve students well into the late 2020s. The state operates on a different clock. New Jersey's fiscal policy moves in a 12-month cycle, resetting the financial landscape every July. This creates a gap in the School Funding Reform Act. While the core formula is permanent law, the mechanisms that keep it predictable from year to year are currently tethered to temporary budget language rather than state statute. Local districts are forced to plan for the long term using a revenue stream that is only guaranteed for the short term. When stabilization measures are discretionary, state aid becomes a variable that can shift significantly from one year to the next. Districts with high student needs rely most heavily on equalization aid to bridge the gap between local taxes and adequacy costs. Because their budgets are built on the very funding components that fluctuate amid the current system, they face the highest exposure to revenue volatility. When a district is hit with an unexpected mid-year or year-over-year budget hole, administrators are left with few options. These reactive decisions typically result in cuts to programs and staff that directly impact student services. The data shows that high-needs districts experience the most significant budgetary swings when stabilization measures are removed, putting the heaviest financial burden on the schools with the least amount of local flexibility. In recent years, the state has utilized a specific set of tools to prevent these aid cliffs and maintain district stability. These measures include 3-year averaging of local fair share, 1-to-1 special education funding, and aid floors. But these 3 pillars are missing from permanent law. They are temporary provisions in the annual budget, meaning they must be reapproved every single year. For a district superintendent trying to sign a 3-year contract today, a tool that might disappear in 12 months is a tool they cannot rely on. A full modernization of the SFRA formula is the state's long-term goal, but recalibrating those adequacy costs is a multi-year process that will likely extend past 2028. Senate Bill 3917 provides a way for districts to function during that modernization window. This bill aims for consistency in how current dollars are distributed. S-3917 takes existing stabilization measures, the averaging, special ed funding, and aid floors, and writes them into statute, turning them into permanent blocks. This creates a legislative bridge, securing the current system until the larger modernization of the funding formula is complete. Providing schools with the predictability they need to operate is a matter of consistent governance. On June 30th, the state Senate passed S-3917 with an overwhelming 38-to-1 bipartisan vote, signaling a broad consensus on the need for stability. The policy is now awaiting action in the Assembly. Without an Assembly companion bill, A5310, the progress made in the Senate stops, and districts head into the next planning cycle without statutory protection. Legislative stability requires action from both houses. Without the Assembly's participation, these critical protections remain temporary. New Jersey has already proven that these stabilization tools work to protect local schools. The question is whether we continue to treat them as year-to-year fixes or commit to them as permanent policy. Great Schools of New Jersey has identified this codification as the primary focus for the current session. Districts cannot afford to wait for a modernization that is still years away. The Assembly must introduce the companion bill and codify the protections in S-3917. The financial health of our schools should be embedded in state law, not left to the annual uncertainty of the budget process.